He believed the trip was almost over. But the faster he drove, the longer the highway became. Mile after mile, the road refused to end. As if it wasn't carrying him forward, but keeping him. It was just past midnight on Interstate 40, somewhere between Albuquerque and Amarillo. The highway stretched endlessly under a cold, pale moon, empty except for a few distant headlights slicing through the darkness. Caleb Turner, a long-haul trucker with over a decade behind the wheel, was hauling a refrigerated trailer stacked with frozen cargo. His rig, a gleaming 18-wheeler, hummed steadily, tires gripping the asphalt like a heartbeat in the night. The radio was dead static. Caleb had tried tuning into the CB channel to chat with other truckers, but all he got was the usual hiss and crackle. Probably just interference, he muttered, sipping lukewarm coffee from a dented thermos. The desert air was thick and still, a silence so complete it almost pressed against his skull. He checked the mile markers absent-mindedly. Mile 416, mile 417. A chill ran down his spine. That stretch of road had a reputation. Trucker forums whispered about strange occurrences, trucks found abandoned, ghostly figures glimpsed from the roadside, and a mile marker that always seemed to bring bad luck. Caleb laughed nervously at himself. He was no believer in ghost stories. But when the knocking started, he froze. At first, it was soft, almost polite. 3 slow raps on the inside of his trailer door. Caleb's eyes darted to the rearview mirror. Nothing. He told himself it was the wind, or maybe a branch scraping the side of the trailer. But then it came again. Louder, more deliberate. 3 sharp knocks, echoing inside the steel walls of the trailer. He reached for the CB, heart hammering. "Hello? Anyone there?" Static. Then, a voice. "Caleb." He jerked back, nearly dropping the mic. His name. His actual name, spoken clearly, calmly, and terrifyingly close. There was no other truck around for miles. No dispatcher, no prankster. Just the empty highway and the sound of that voice repeating his name. Caleb's pulse raced. He hit the brakes slightly, letting the rig slow to 20 miles per hour. Every instinct screamed to check the trailer, but he couldn't. He knew he shouldn't. Some part of him understood that opening it could mean crossing a line from which there was no return. The knocking continued, sometimes faint, sometimes thundering, like someone, or something, was pacing inside. He risked a glance at the side mirrors. Empty. He turned back to the road. Desert stretches blurred past, cacti casting long shadows that seemed to reach out for him. His dash cam, always recording for safety, flickered. For a brief second, the screen showed a shadow at the rear of the trailer, tall, hulking, human-shaped. But when he looked back in the mirrors, nothing was there. The CB radio crackled again. "Get out!" The voice wasn't just calling him now. It was warning him. Caleb's hands tightened on the wheel. He had to keep moving. If he stopped, if he turned around, whatever was in that trailer, or following him, might finally reveal itself. The GPS suddenly rerouted him, off the main highway, down a narrow 2-lane road with overgrown shoulders. Caleb frowned. He hadn't entered that route. His instincts screamed that something unnatural was at work. Something behind him, persistent and patient, forcing him into isolation. 2 hours later, Caleb found himself approaching a rest area marked mile 417. His eyes narrowed. He hadn't planned to stop here. In fact, he'd never stopped at this rest area before. Something about the silence surrounding it felt wrong. He slowed and glanced at the lot. Empty. Not a single car, truck, or light. Yet the air felt heavy, almost alive. Then, the knock came again, 3 slow, deliberate raps from the trailer. Only this time, they echoed outside the cab. Caleb's heart pounded in his ears. He stepped out, flashlight in hand, and approached the trailer. The tires rested on cracked asphalt. The trailer door was slightly ajar. He didn't remember opening it. "Hello?" he called. The voice came again, louder this time. "Caleb, come inside." Every rational thought told him to run, but something in him, fear mixed with curiosity, pulled him toward the trailer. He grabbed the handle, cold metal biting into his palms. The door swung open with a creak that seemed to echo into eternity. Inside, nothing. Just frozen pallets and the faint smell of dry earth. He exhaled shakily, telling himself he was imagining it. Then he saw the shadow, a figure crouched in the corner. As Caleb's flashlight trembled over it, the figure rose. Slowly. The silhouette stepped into the light, and his stomach dropped. The face was his own. Caleb stumbled backward. The figure mimicked his every move. He slammed the trailer door shut and jumped into the cab, fumbling with the keys. The rig roared to life, tires spinning on asphalt, and he sped back onto the highway. He checked the log on his truck system. 11 hours of driving recorded, but when he compared it to real time, 3 hours had vanished. Roadways he didn't remember driving stretched behind him like a nightmare. A road that didn't exist. His CB radio crackled again, and this time, a dispatcher's voice came through. "Caleb, you were never assigned that run. There's no delivery tonight. Are you okay?" "Then who, what?" Caleb whispered, voice breaking. He glanced in the mirrors. The desert was empty, the highway silent. But his heart knew better. The presence he felt behind him was still there, patient, waiting for the right moment to strike. By dawn, Caleb pulled off the highway at the next truck stop, shaking uncontrollably. He needed coffee, company, anything to remind him that he was alive and alone. He climbed out of the cab. Then he froze. The trailer door swung open slowly. And inside, nothing. Empty. No pallets, no shadow, no figure with his face. Only the faint smell of cold metal and diesel. The engine was still warm. Somewhere in the distance, the desert wind whispered his name. And for the first time, Caleb understood, mile 417 wasn't just a marker on the map. It was a trap, a place where time, reality, and sanity bent, where something waited for every trucker foolish enough to drive alone at midnight. Caleb never spoke of mile 417 again. He sold the rig, left the highway for a while, and avoided that stretch of desert like the plague. But every night, whenever the wind howled across the plains, he swore he could still hear the knocks. 3 slow, deliberate raps, echoing from a trailer that should have been empty. And sometimes, when the CB radio crackled with static, he heard his name called out in a voice that sounded just like him. People say stories like this are lies. But what I felt could not have been a lie. Some things walk with you like shadows. And once you feel them, there's no turning back.